Hi, I'm Annie. I'm a human.
And I'm Minty.
And this is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU.
And we are reacting to episode 12 of Yashahime.
Yes.
This is the one where Towa becomes human during a new moon. So, I thought the episode was pretty okay. It's just the explanation for a lot of things were a bit jank.
I thought the whole scene with Miyoga explaining things half-assed, might I say, kind of ruined everything for me. Oh, why didn't this affect me in the real world? And it's like, oh, must be because it's not the moon from this world where you're originally from.
Boing boing.
I'm sorry, Miyoga, are they from two different worlds? Is that not just modern Japan and feudal Japan? It's just two completely different?
Yeah, I wish there was a better explanation. Like, maybe because she's surrounded by demon energy, or I don't know, maybe it just doesn't affect her because she just doesn't have to, exert so much energy during a new moon.
And I don't understand why it doesn't affect Setsuna. Like, oh, I get it. Setsuna doesn't dream, so the moon doesn't affect her.
There has to be a better explanation. I'm not exactly sure what.
The only explanation I would take is Moroha is being 1/4 demon.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Like, I accept that 500%. I don't accept that. See, yeah, you could have just thought of one. Well, maybe Setsuna being like, oh, maybe because using your demon powers daily is what's really draining you now that you lost it.
Yeah. I mean, I wish Setsuna had a better... We're talking about Towa, right?
Yeah, I'll talk about Towa, sorry.
Yeah, because the Setsuna... I can't think of a better explanation for Setsuna, but there has to be one.
Yeah, if anything, I would just say maybe, I don't know, because Setsuna did not need her demon powers in this episode, so it could just be that she was relying on her, Demon Slayer strength or training rather than her demon powers.
Well, those Scourge of Sorrow...
That's the thing, you didn't have to write that in.
No, she doesn't have a non...
But she could have just said, oh, I know my weakness on the new moon, I just don't become basically in a coma.
Oh, you're saying she should be affected as well.
Yeah, I'm saying she should be affected, but she's totally, 100% okay with it.
Oh, and it'd be nice because then Towa could learn to be capable too. But you know what? Sorry, a little bit tangent. This is a good segue for the Dream Butterfly to come into the plot now. Because Tonkon, one of the four perils, knows that they're weak during the full moon. Actually, I don't know if he saw Miyoga's explanation because of the barrier. But if he did, then it would be smart if he would want to bring the Dream Butterfly to Setsuna, so that way they're both weak during the new moon. And that's when he would attack.
Fair enough. We gotta wait, apparently, 5 more episodes for next month's new moon. I just don't understand why Towa was like, oh, my heart's beating really fast and my blood is changing. And Inuyasha was like, god damn, I gotta stay in a house all day now.
Yeah, I don't remember him being weaker. I know he just doesn't have his demon powers.
He was still very sassy. He wasn't asleep all the time.
Maybe it's just because this is her first time doing it, while Inuyasha's used to this already for over however long old he is. I was gonna say 50, but I was like, well, he was sealed for 50 years. What if his hair turned black? It's just what the hell?
Okay, here's something I don't get about Towa's character. I feel like Towa is a non-binary character written by a cis person. Because they're very back and forth. She's very back and forth, but every character is there to point out how back and forth she is.
Okay, because you're talking about the conversation between Towa and Moroha, right? How a girl's feelings will never change. That was a very strange conversation. I don't know if it's a translation thing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't normal girl. It's more human girl.
Yeah. It was weird because she was like, oh, I know Setsuna's going to feel just as bad as me because, you can't change how a girl feels. It's what is that? I don't think sex has anything to do with this.
Yeah, this is just demon stuff. And Moroha had, the logic to be well, Setsuna has been dealing with this for so long now.
Yeah. And plus, you was practically on the ground dying, Towa, and Setsuna was holding her own. That's what makes me feel it's a very cis person who wrote that line. Because oh, I'm gonna have this just to remind the audience that Towa is not your normal girl. She's, a punky girl who doesn't live by your female standards.
Yeah, they did bring that up in the beginning, kind of, and then it just kind of faded away.
Yeah, I thought blowing up the mountain was a lot. Next episode, we see Sango and Moku. Sango, you tried to blow up a fucking mountain?
To be fair though, the forest is already dead, and it's like not like the mountain's gonna get affected. It's just really raw.
They can do that way of fertilizing the soil by burning the plants.
You can't do it with dead trees.
Ah, god damn it.
Yeah, because there's no nutrients in the dead trees.
Oh, gotcha.
But the whole idea is I think it's to burn the trees down to grow crops, not like new trees.
Okay. But, yeah, this episode just, I don't know, it makes no sense to me, but I love it that Miyoga did the rolling words on the paper. That is true. I do love that we've seen another side of Moroha's spiritual powers. Okay, yeah, because you shafted her in the last 2 episodes. You gotta give her a new power somehow.
Surprisingly, this was an episode that Moroha did shine in.
Okay, here's the thing I do not stand. I don't like how Moroha and Setsuna did one attack against the demon, and it was just useless. Like, it completely destroyed the demon, but then he came back. But Tora's like, step aside, bitches. Main character coming through, and killed it in one go. Like, what makes Towa so much more powerful than Setsuna and Moroha?
To be fair, Moroha didn't really kill him, like, full body destruction.
Yeah.
It was more of decapitation. But you are right, Setsuna did, like, do a move that supposedly destroyed the whole body, so why is Tora's move so much more powerful than Setsuna's one?
I'm also sick of this goddamn running joke of the whole body getting destroyed. Cause, like, a lot of people misunderstand why Moroha wants money, because they're all thinking Moroha is trying to save up money. But several points in the series, Moroha has said she has a giant debt. So it just makes me cringe and feel bad for Moroha because she's not getting this fucking debt paid off.
To be fair though, there is no consequences to having this debt.
You don't know that yet, because we don't know what the debt is. Because clearly, she's working cleaning the Jubei's house because she needs to pay off that debt.
Is that Jubei or is that Takichio being a little shit?
We don't know, but this show isn't giving us any information.
It's hard with episodic episodes like this, because it's like, we only have 20 minutes to show so much.
I think it just would have been a lot more impactful, right? If you showed Moroha getting all these bounties and she's still saying it's not enough. Like, holy shit, how big is this debt? Instead of, no wonder you're not paying off the debt. Towa keeps destroying the entire body, even though Towa needs money for the dream butterfly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it does seem like they are splitting boundaries.
Bounties.
Bounties. I mean, again, with episodic episodes like this, they're not showing, like, everyday life of the characters. They're only showing, like, these main things that, quote-unquote, would be good for the plot or is like interesting enough for the audience to like.
Okay, but you think, oh, maybe they're killing monsters off screen. I assume they're just talking about the monsters they already shown. Like, they've shown some monsters they collected bounties from.
In the beginning, they haven't shown one in a while.
You're being optimistic saying like, oh, there's a lot more demons they're killing off screen, but I can only I have object permanence. If I do not see it on screen, it didn't happen.
That's not what object permanence means. Object permanence means the opposite of what you're saying.
Fuck you.
Object permanence actually probably more goes along with my thing. Because object permanence is you see something and then when you look away, you still know it's there.
But I said I don't have object permanence.
Oh, okay.
If I don't see it on screen, it didn't happen.
I guess so, but I mean, you gotta imagine they're still living their life.
This is what pisses me off. They don't go over some basic things that they should have established. Like, we kind of see, Moroha says, Setsuna and Towa, you didn't come home last night, so I got worried. So clearly, they live together. Do they live together with Kaede? What's the living situation here?
I kind of assumed they were living in the demon slaying village, but I actually have no idea. I will admit, they do say that good writing will show like that the characters do have lives outside of the plot, and it should be evident, and it's not super evident. It's very like assumption making.
Fair enough. What do you think about the preview for the next episode?
I always like Miroku, so I'm glad to see him.
Yeah.
Sango is one of my favorites. I can never decide between Sango and Sesshomaru being my favorite, so I really hope she's not depressed or in a sad situation.
Can I just say, I think Sesshomaru is your favorite, because so far I've seen everyone who thinks Sango is their favorite turned out to be a lesbian. I'm just saying that she awakens people.
I always like Sango.
That eyeshadow, hot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that she had 2 different clothes was like, oh, and she's hot in both of them.
The only reason I got sad that Sango ended up with Moroku is because Sango didn't end up with me. I really hope Sango is at a grave in the preview, and that grave belongs to like Inuyasha, Kagome, and maybe Moroha, and that would kind of explain, why why do I keep saying Shishomu instead of Moroku? Moroku and Sango never really cared about Inuyasha and Kagome being gone because they just assumed they were dead.
But we don't hope they're dead.
No. I don't hope they're dead. Like, clearly, if I want them to be at the grave of Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter, and she's still alive, I thought it was like a big misconception. Because it would make sense if, like, Inuyasha and Kagome, they died from Shishomu, and maybe that's why Moroku's doing the 1,000-day training. Boy, how many years is 1,000 days?
3 years.
Oh, shit. No wonder Hisui kind of sounds pissed.
I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Does it suck that he's doing it after he has kids? Sure. Maybe the kids wasn't planned, Or, I think you mentioned this before recording, was like, maybe he has to train because with Inuyasha gone, Moroku has to step up his game.
To be fair, his kids are all kind of grown. Like, if he's been doing this for only 3 years,
Yeah, and I think in feudal era's criteria, they are considered adults that can live on their own and do their own thing. It's not like Hisui was abandoned. He's clearly like, just living with Kohaku being a demon slayer. Hopefully we'll get some hints on what the daughters are doing. Maybe they're just living with Sango.
I would love
which is fine.
Yeah, that would be great. Maybe one of them has to like make food for Moroku because he's training every day and one of them's gotta like pot shock, some food into his mouth. I don't like how in the episode where they show human Inuyasha, then the very next episode is Moroku, and I'm like, they look exactly the same.
Hot.
And with that, we will end this episode.
Okay, thanks guys.
Bye.